Hello everyone, welcome to Last Night Guru. So in this video we will be discussing about human respiratory system. So let's get started. So human respiratory system, it starts with a pair of external nostrils. Okay, so the air enters through the external nostrils, then the external nostrils continues into a cavity which is called as nasal cavity. So nasal cavity in which there is presence of fine hairs and mucus secreting cells. So the function of this is it clears the air from foreign particles. So next, the nasal cavity will continue into pharynx, which is a common passage for food and air. So both food and air enters through the pharynx. Okay, so next, the pharynx continues into trachea. Before that, the tracheal opening, the trachea opens into glottis. So glottis has a muscular flap which is known as epiglottis. So what is the function of this epiglottis is, epiglottis covers the glottis as food is entering inside the esophagus. Means it prevents the food from entering into the windpipe. Okay. So next, there is presence of a cap like structure over here which is nothing but larynx. So next, the larynx continues into trachea. So trachea is a straight tube which is also known as windpipe, and the trachea has C-shaped incomplete cartilaginous rings. So what is the function of this cartilaginous rings is it prevents the trachea from collapsing when air is entering inside. Okay, so it holds the trachea straight. So trachea is over. So next, the trachea will divide. It divides at the fifth vertebrae and it divides into primary bronchi. So this is primary bronchi. Is that clear? Okay, so next, the primary bronchi branches into secondary bronchi. So these are the secondary bronchi. So secondary bronchi gets branched into tertiary bronchi. So next, the tertiary bronchi branches into initial bronchioles. So these are the initial bronchiole, and initial bronchiole branches into terminal bronchiole. These are the terminal bronchiole, and to the terminal bronchiole there will be presence of a vascular irregular shaped structure, bag like structure, which is known as alveoli. So this is alveoli. Okay, and the C-shaped cartilaginous ring continues from the trachea till initial bronchiole, and it won't be present in the terminal bronchiole. Okay, so next let's continue with the labelings of human respiratory system. So as I said, the human respiratory system starts with the external opening known as nostrils. So nostrils will continue into a cavity, this is a cavity which is known as nasal cavity. So then the nasal cavity opens into a common passage for food and air, that is nothing but pharynx. Pharynx opens into sound box, which is nothing but larynx. So next, the larynx opens into a long tube, straight tube, which is known as trachea with C-shaped cartilaginous ring. The trachea divides at the fifth vertebrae into primary bronchi. So primary bronchi branches into, what is this? Secondary bronchi. Secondary bronchi branches into tertiary bronchi. Tertiary bronchi branches into initial bronchiole. Initial bronchiole branches into, this is terminal bronchiole. To the terminal bronchiole, what is present? There is presence of alveoli. the main conducting part, which is known as alveoli. So all this is enclosed into a airtight vascular bag, which is known as lungs. So humans have a pair of lungs, and this lungs is covered by double membranous structure. This is the double membrane, which is known as pleural membrane. Okay, so there will be outer pleural membrane and inner pleural membrane. So in between this pleural membrane, there will be presence of a fluid which is known as pleural fluid. So pleural fluid helps in avoiding the friction of the lungs. Okay, so that's all about the human respiratory system. So let's continue with the next part in the next video. Keep sharing with your friends, and thanks for watching.